Okay, we are live. All right, guys, welcome to yet another Tuesday free live training. And this is Jason. If this is the first time we meet, welcome into my universe. Because if you're watching this live, as in like live in my Facebook group, you must have gone through some of my free trainings here and there. And because you think you like what I'm doing, that's the reason why you're joining. But nonetheless, if you're watching this as a replay, um, then you can actually kind of like go to my Facebook group, which I have this Facebook Ads Transformation group. You can go to Facebook and look for that group and join me, because this is where I share a lot of live training and a lot of free information to my community. And I've been actually doing this live for about a few weeks now. And to be frank, I like doing it, but just that sometimes, okay, we have to make it like a seasonal kind of thing. So basically, this is where we're going to end this season. This is the last training that we're going to have, which is today we're going to talk about CPAS, which is a very interesting topic. Okay, so yeah, if you miss any of my previous trainings, you actually hadn't missed a thing. All you need to do is to go to my YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see all the trainings. I've already kind of like posted it. This kind of training that I'm doing inside the Facebook group is really something that I would actually share back to my YouTube channel. So yeah, you won't be missing a lot of things, but go to my YouTube channel. Also, if you're already in my YouTube channel, then this is where you want to kind of like browse around and look at a lot of things that I've been discussing here and there. So it's pretty fun. Okay. So yeah, let's see who is here already. I can see quite a number of you, but yeah. So I think this is Jackie, and this is who? Uh, I don't know. Actually, you guys are not able to show your face. Like Chiwai is here. What's up, Chiwai? Chiwai, I've been seeing my face like way too many times this week. Seriously, I hope you didn't have nightmare. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, so I have to roll because I have another live going on in 1 hour later. So I just want to make sure that we are not delaying the other side of it. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to bring up this thing. Today's topic is very important because if you're selling on Shopee or Lazada, you really need to know about CPAS. And if you're selling on Shopee in Malaysia, okay, Facebook not to say Facebook, Shopee is allowing you to actually apply for CPAS access. I was told that, they're actually opening up to most of the sellers available. So you can actually start looking at, contacting your account manager or whatnot to see whether you are able to just kind of like apply for that. It's a very powerful thing. And the reason why we want to do this training today is to walk you through a lot of fundamental things that you need to understand. In fact, a lot of people talk to me and ask me things about CPAS, and I have actually I have posted a lot of videos on YouTube regarding this topic. But I believe it is time for me to do a more comprehensive kind of introduction, rather than those bite-sized videos going around, which may not be able to really give you a better picture about what CPAS is all about. So if you're just getting started with CPAS, or you're planning to apply for CPAS, this is the video that you need to watch. But nonetheless, if you're watching the replay, if you have any questions at all, you can actually post your questions in the comment section. But I have to make sure this thing, I will not be answering your comment in whether on my YouTube channel or my Facebook group. You will need to come back to join me on my AMA session every Sunday night at 10 p.m. to actually, I'll be answering your questions in the AMA session. So don't expect me to reply to your comment, right? Let's be very clear about these things, but feel free to post your questions in the comment section. I will answer them when I go live like this, okay? Now, before I roll, I think, I can see quite a number of people actually join my group, or, you're probably watching this, you found me on YouTube and whatnot. So I think it's good that I allow me to introduce myself a little bit, because a lot of you may be like, seriously, who is this guy? Especially when you look for CPAS, when you search for CPAS, right? I was just talking to one of the bigger brands, and a lot of people will talk to me about CPAS. They will say that, Jason, you are the king of CPAS on YouTube. It's just kind of like, seriously, when you go to look for CPAS, you probably see at least a few of my videos over here, in the first few places, which is very crazy. Okay. So I have been talking about CPAS for a while, but nonetheless, who am I? Okay, I'm actually a Facebook advertising and business coach since 2010. I actually started my digital agency in 2010, and I was running my agency part of business until 2020 last year, which I decided to not taking client anymore, and I focus on training and coaching. I actually started training and coaching in 2016. So over the years until now, I have coached and learned with more than 5,000 over students from 20 over countries right now. Currently, I'm working more on with kind of like coaches and students coming from foreign countries instead of Malaysia. But I'm coming from Malaysia, if this is the first time we meet. And I'm a Facebook certified professional since 2017. That means whatever I'll be sharing with you are actually certified by Facebook. That is an official certification by Facebook, which every year we actually need to go through re-certification exam to stay certified. So we will need to go through the learning and all that again to make sure that we stay up to date about all these things. Okay, so I am also a Facebook preferred marketing partner. Now, if you're not sure what the hell it's all about, right? Facebook preferred marketing partner is only awarded to those business manager of agencies that actually manages cumulatively under their business manager. The ad account spends at least 325,000 in the last 6 months. So under my account, under my business manager, accumulatively, I'm overseeing about more than $600,000 in Facebook ad spend in the last 6 months. That's how we stay relevant. Now, when we are a preferred marketing partner, we receive the latest information from Facebook whenever they have changes, and we get different level of support from them. But seriously, I mean, may not be the most important part, but seriously, that's kind of like who I am. In case you need to know who are you listening to, right? So let's talk about CPAS. You see, CPAS sounds like just any other words out there, right? It's not even a word. It's like a short form of things that it doesn't represent anything. But a lot of you have been using CPAS, but you do not know what is CPAS, what is the full name of CPAS, right? So today, I think it's very important for me to give you a quick introduction about CPAS, where CPAS is called the Collaborative Platform Advertising Solutions. Okay, in short, in our terminology, when we learn as a preferred partner, as a certified professional, we call it collaborative advertising. In Facebook short term, we call it collaborative ads. But essentially, it is actually a form of advertising where you are able to run advertisement for specifically, let's say, for a marketplace seller. Like if you're selling on Shopee, if you're selling on Lazada, and even Amazon. I heard eBay was having the same thing as well. And a lot of other marketplaces like those that I learn with, I have students from Indonesia, they say that Tokopedia has the same thing. I think similar thing. It's about, just imagine if you're selling on marketplaces. Let's take a look at the biggest problem that we are having when we're running ads on marketplaces is that when we are running ads on Shopee and Lazada, if we do not have CPAS, the biggest challenge is we will not be able to retarget, which means when we run ads and we drive people to our Shopee store, we do not know how many actually went over, first thing, because we can't track. We don't have any access on Shopee and Lazada, correct? And the second thing is we are not able to actually retarget, which means we do not know who actually landed on my Shopee store and how many of them actually purchased. We are disconnected from all this data. That's the biggest challenge. And don't worry, in fact, if you're not having a CPAS access, I do have a Shopee advertising or Lazada advertising strategy covering that. Even if you do not have CPAS, you can still run Facebook ads effectively, even to do the retargeting part. You can actually go to my website and look for a course called Facebook Ads for Shopee. That's where I go in great detail. It's about a 4-hour kind of course that I cover a lot of things to teach you really how to start. And even I have a portion to cover about how do you build and set up a Facebook ads campaign with CPAS access. But nonetheless, CPAS is where, when you have CPAS access, what's going to happen is Shopee or Lazada or Tokopedia or anything out there, right? As long as it's not your own website, it's other previous platform, it's like a lot of sellers coming together, that's marketplace. Now, what's going to happen is Shopee is going to create a catalog. Catalog means they will group all your products in your Shopee store into a catalog, and they will share this catalog to your Facebook ads account. Now, in order to have CPAS access, in order to have everything, the first prerequisite is you must have a business manager. Okay, a Facebook business manager is a must. I won't be able to cover over here. You just go over and look for YouTube video. I have a lot of videos talking about business manager. You have to have a business manager, and usually the best practice is create a new Facebook ad account instead of the one that you have been using to run ads and all that, right? Create a new Facebook ad account for that purpose. So in that case, for example, I have my coaches. Let's say if they have their own website, I mean, it's advisable to have a Facebook ad account for your own website. And when you have, let's say, Lazada CPAS, then you create another account for that purpose, and you have Shopee, another account. That's how it works. That's how it should be working. Okay, so these are the best practices when you want to set up. And once you have gotten your CPAS access, that's you have to work with your account manager and all that in terms of how to set it up and all this kind of thing, onboarding. I don't cover that part. I'm just going to tell you how to use CPAS effectively. So that's the purpose of me running this, slightly shorter than 1 hour conversation and training over here, just to give you an idea about how to use CPAS right. So today's training is very important for you, especially if you're new. Even for a lot of people who have been running ads using CPAS, in a way, you might be doing the wrong thing. That's why today we're going to break a few things down to let you know what are the key mistakes or key areas that you have to pay attention to when you're running CPAS Facebook ads. Okay, so far, so good. So mainly for CPAS advertising, for collaborative platform advertising, most of the people are using it as for retargeting purposes. As in, like, you want to retarget people who have visited your store and not yet purchased, and you want to actually follow them for a period of time. I mean, most people actually use that, but I just want to actually highlight to you, in fact, you can do more than retargeting. I have seen a lot of good success among my coaches and students. They actually use CPAS as their front-end co-targeting campaign, meaning that you go out, okay, and then you use CPAS, then you run ads using CPAS to target those people who have not been introduced to your products. It actually works to a certain extent if you know how to structure the whole advertisement. In fact, I will not be able to cover a lot of strategic part because today is really about the introduction to CPAS, but nonetheless, one of the areas that you can look into is this. When you want to create when you have a CPAS access, one of the very important thing to do is you need to actually start creating product sets strategically. That's not something that a lot of people don't do. Product sets means what? You see, let's say, for example, you have a Shopee store. You probably have 500 SKUs. Okay, hear me out. If you just run one ad, just throw 500 SKU. I mean, you either run it as a cold targeting, meaning that you go out to people who do not know you, and then you throw all these 500 SKUs one shot out to go and target people, or you use these 500 products, just lump everything in, and you use that to run retargeting. I can almost 100% guarantee that it's gonna fail. You know why? Because when it comes to advertising, especially when it comes to advertising on Facebook, okay, the rule of thumb is not going to confuse people. It's about how do you actually bring the right people into your universe. And let's say you have 500 SKU, for example, that we are talking about, right? Let's say if you sell fashion, all right? First thing first, you have male and female, correct? So when you have male and female, if you lump 500, then if I'm a male, I'm a guy, and I see your ads, I can see some like female clothing and female accessories coming in. Do you think I'll be feeling like, I'll feel this? I mean, first thing first, I would definitely not feel that this is relevant to me. And second thing is, I'll be feeling like, what the hell are you doing? How can you not know that I'm a guy? And yet you send me, female clothing. Now, agree to disagree that there could be some counterintuitive thing, that meaning that you probably want to run this to attract me to buy for my girlfriend kind of thing. But yet again, I think it's about creating a relevant advertisement. So what you should instead of doing here is that you actually need to break into different product sets. Like for example, you can have a product sets of male and female. All right. On the other hand, you can actually have the product sets of for example, categories. Right. You have female top. Okay. Female skirts. What is that called? And female accessories, and male blouse, male shirt. Male T-shirt, and male accessories. Now, the moment you break into all these, you can actually already see the imagination coming in here. You can actually have a lot of different front-end ads running simultaneously. So that's something that you should start looking into. You see, a lot of people, when they have something, they just let it run and see how it goes, right? But here's the thing. I think a lot of people actually do not think deeper, as in like try to find out how can you create a more relevant experience for your audiences before, you see, especially if you're using this to run the cold targeting campaign. It is definitely a lot more important for you to build that kind of right impression, first impression count. And when it comes to ads, that is even coming more important. So you have to start looking at that. So we're not just using it for retargeting, we will use it for broad targeting, as in like fresh audience targeting. We have seen good success doing that, and you should start considering. But when it comes to that, then later we will discuss how do we set, for cold and for retargeting. There are different way of setting up. I would not be able to go into any ad account because all my CPAS accounts belongs to my coaches, and it's not the right thing to do for me to go in and use their ad account to do walk through the setup for me. But nonetheless, you can purchase my Facebook ads for Shopee course. I do have a more detailed walkthrough because I was given the permission to use that to actually record the course and show it to you guys. But over here, no, I'm not going to do that. So basically, when you start running ads, when you have a CPAS success, and basically this is where you start setting up a Facebook ads campaign. All right, when you want to set up a new Facebook ads campaign, you start by choosing the campaign objective. Okay, so this is where you start choosing campaign objective, and essentially, if you have CPAS success, you can use either conversions or catalog sales. Now, most people use catalog sales. Okay, but there could be scenario that you want to opt for conversions for certain situation. Like, let me give you this example. I'm giving you a lot of useful tips right away, but you need to know how to implement. Like for certain people, they haven't even seen this screen before, then you probably want to go over. You need to start by creating a Facebook ad account. I want you to go over and play with it a little bit, but I mean, the easier way, of course, would be actually go through some of my courses that I give you better understanding and teaching about all these things. But you need to know which one to choose, okay? Now, let me give you this example. Like, basically, for certain scenario, if you want to use catalog sales, okay, for certain case, if you want to use catalog sales, then you are able to retarget people who have visited certain of your products. Agree? So if they visit your product, then you will know that they're interested in your product. And if they have not purchased, then you can actually retarget them. But there will be certain scenario where your audience size is too small for that catalog ads to, I mean, that's essentially a retargeting catalog ads to run. I'm actually seeing some similar situation of one of my Korean client who is selling in Shopee, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, and a few other countries. They're having this issue of not having, I mean, the tier 2, the retargeting ads cannot run. So when your tier 2 cannot run, essentially, you're actually kind of like missing a lot of opportunities, because you see, one of the area that a lot of people kind of misunderstand when it comes to retargeting, you can't wait. You see, most people do retargeting like how? You do retargeting like, okay, I run this for a week, then next week, I retarget people who have visited my product and haven't purchased. Now, that's totally the wrong thing to do. You know why? Because 1 week later, either I have bought from you or not, or your competitors, or I have kind of like lost interest in that product anymore. I mean, by the time you still run ads to me, then you'll be wasting your budget and time, if you agree. So retargeting must start immediately. All right. So let's say a person click on the ad and go to your Shopee store, look at this product, and they don't buy. The moment they go out from the Shopee and come back to Facebook or Instagram, they must start seeing your advertisement right away, because the purchase intent, the intention or the interest on your product expires very, very quickly. It's either in 3 to 7 days time, especially if you're talking about Shopee selling. In 3 to 7 days time, I would have either bought from you or your competitor, or I actually lost interest in this product anymore. So you don't want to miss the golden opportunity. So the problem here is that when you're using catalog sales, if you're retargeting for 7 days, for example, now the biggest challenge that you'll be having is you don't have enough audience. Now, I'm not saying that it's very difficult to judge, okay? So first thing first, the basic rule of thumb, Facebook need to have at least more than 150 people in that audience size to kickstart. So that, let's say if you're targeting people who have visited your specific 3 products in the last 7 days, for example. Now, we may not have enough people to kickstart this thing. So what you can do here is you can actually, in turn, you use conversion objective and you tie it with your catalog. And instead of using the people who visited your product, you actually target people who have even view your video or something like that to actually, expand your audience. If you can't expand your audience, the whole ad cannot run. And when you cannot run, you're not saving money. You're wasting opportunities. That's the right way of looking at the whole Facebook ads campaign scenario over here. So that's very important. Okay. So that's how it works. And basically, that's how we use, catalog and conversions in a very strategic way. So these are the 2 objectives that you can use CPAS. When you have CPAS, when you have gotten your catalog, you can actually use either of these objectives. Now, if you are using the catalog, basically, if you are using the conversion, then you do your all basic kind of audience setup and all this kind of thing, then definitely you know what to do. It's either you use broad targeting or you use, like the retargeting bit, and you use different kind of retargeting like video view and all this kind of thing, which you can do. Okay. So that's conversion side. Now, when it comes to catalog sales, then when you click on catalog sales, when you want to set up a campaign, you will be presented this part. So basically, there are 2 ways of getting, like, for example, the first one, that the blue dot is there, it says use information from Shopee business account, which means this is where you will start going in and look for people who have either added to cart or whatnot. Later, we will see in the next slide. And on the other hand, you have this selection, which is to find prospective customers, even if they haven't interacted with your business. So this is where you can use instead, you can actually use this as a cold targeting. Okay, so this is how you play mix and match. In fact, sometimes, some people may even ask me, oh, okay, so is it more effective to use catalog to go broad, or can I use conversion to go broad, or vice versa? I either use either one of each for retargeting. It's very difficult for me to just give you a benchmark and say which one works better. Just like how I always like to encourage people when it comes to, Facebook advertising. A lot of people have that kind of concern, say, Jason, how much is enough? And what kind of CTR or what kind of CPM benchmark I should be looking at? You see, very simple. If you're starting out, if you are new to Facebook ads, or new to CPAS or anything, I think it's very important for us to be, first thing first, you can't ask people how much you should be spending. If I tell you that you need to spend at least $100 a day, then you'll be like, holy, you stupid. You're crazy. I don't have that much. And seriously, you have your own benchmark. You have all these answers in yourself, but you are looking for other people to give you an answer that you can't accept. Then what are you talking about, right? A budget that you feel comfortable is the best budget. Okay, a budget that you feel that you can commit is the best budget. Now, when you are running ads on Facebook, especially Facebook, you have to think of the budget that you're actually setting aside is a cost that will bring you revenue in return. It is not an expenses. It's not something that you use it and run it and it become kind of like poof, turn into pumpkin. No, it doesn't work that way. You see, you have to imagine when you're running ads, of course, you might be getting results, you might not, but nonetheless, along the way, every time your ads show, you are actually introducing your product or services to new people. So I think it's a very important mindset that we need to acquire if you're new to Facebook ads especially. I think it's very important for you to realize that, look, it is about building up. It's about building up. So the best way to say that how much do I need to commit, okay, in order to get X number of results is to at least you have a very clear picture about how much you spend would generate how much for you. So when you know that every dollar you spend, you get 1.5 back, then that's the benchmark for us to kickstart. So now you know that if you want to make X number of dollars, you need to spend how much in ads. That's always the best way to look into the discussion on this part. So when you have these kind of these kind of questions in your mind, it's very difficult for anyone else, including me, to give you a very definitive answer. I think the most important part is you have to go in and do your experiment. But of course, if you need to know how to do it right, you can actually go through either my courses or Well, I do have a coaching engagement that I can open for enrollment from time to time. You just need to watch out for that email coming in. So if you go for if you go for this part, which is you use information from Shopee business, account or pixel or app to create retargeting, then you'll be presented this thing. This is where you will see. So you have a few options, in fact. So the first option is you can actually target people who have viewed or added to cart but not purchased. Now, this is a very straightforward thing. First thing first, when it comes to product, it is the product that you're selecting. I did not capture that screen, but when you have CPAS access, before you set up your ad set, okay, you are required to, at the campaign level, you are required to select the so-called CPAS. So if you have CPAS for Singapore and Malaysia both, then you have to make sure that you choose the right one. If it's a Malaysian one, then you go for Malaysian one. Singapore, and then Singapore, right? So let's say if you select Malaysia CPAS, at the ad set level, you are required to select the product set. And that's exactly the reason why I highlighted to you just now. It's very important for you to create product sets when you're setting up your CPAS, because you don't want to run ads in a very general way. It's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. Okay, so this is where you start looking at this. On the first selection is the most commonly used selection, which means you are looking at anyone who viewed at least. Viewed means they landed on the product, okay? They, either one of our products, and basically when you have a catalog ads running, the product that the audience have viewed will become the first item in the entire catalog. So let's say, for example, if you're running ads, retargeting ads, using this, view or added to cart but not purchased, for female accessories, for example. Now, if this lady come into your Shopee store and browse a specific, maybe earrings, is that called earrings? Or necklaces, let's say necklaces. Now, if she saw this and viewed this necklace will become the first product that they will see, and that she will see when they start seeing your retargeting ads on Shopee, on Instagram or Facebook. So they will see the product first and their friends. That's why it's very important for you to create relevant product sets. You just imagine, I'm looking at a necklace. I was considering on a necklace. And then when these ads coming back to me for retargeting, I see the necklace and a men's shoe. You get what I mean? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? This is where you actually kind of show your audience how how amateur you are. That's a very, very serious mistake. So you don't want to get into that scenario. Okay, so view or added to cart would essentially gives you more audiences. Now, because there will be more people who view compared to the second one who have added to cart. But there are different usage when it comes to this. Now, when you go for view or added to cart, okay, this is very useful for general retargeting. Now, if you do use let's say my strategy for Shopee 99 or 1010 campaign, people who have added to cart, this set of retargeting may even give you a very, very interesting, different kind of result. How so? Now, if you have not watched my Facebook ad strategy for Shopee 99, it is also applicable for Shopee 1010 or 11, which is coming up very soon. Even if you're watching the replay, these are still very important dates that you need to make sure that you have all the right thing to do, or all the right things in the right places in order to optimize the ROI, right? So very simple. When we run ads for Shopee 99 or 1010, we have two phases of running ads. Now, the first phase of the ads is where we call building up. Building up is where we run ads from let's say for Take 99, for example. I will start running ads on the 1st of September until 7th of September. That will be my phase one. And this period of ads, this period of time, I'll be running ads to tell people to add to cart. Because you know for sure, if you have been selling on Shopee, you know for sure that during this period of time, nobody will buy. Unless you're selling something that it can become so urgent, then I'll be like, okay, I don't wait for 99, I just buy first. I can't wait for it anymore. Or else, nobody will buy during this period. Very little conversion will happen. So when you run ads for phase one, you want your audience to do only one thing. You wanted to add to cart. Agree? Your ads will be like checkout, add to cart on checkout on the 99 just to optimize to make sure you get all the promotions and all that shit, right? So during that period of time, you get people to add to cart, all right? So when you get people to add to cart, then we will have phase 2 ads coming in, which is usually happening on the 8th and 9th. We run this for 2 days just to optimize the exposure. So on 8 and 9, you'll be running the phase 2 ads. And this is the time you can, if you have a very strong spend coming from the upfront, from the front end, okay, you can run a very specific ads to get people who have added to cart to buy now. You can go to an extent where this is the voucher, check up tonight or check out now to use it and all this kind of thing. It's a very powerful thing. But that provided that, it has to be, you must have a very strong phase 1 build up. Strong means, you probably need to build very strong audience coming in so that your tier 2, when it comes to phase 2, can become a very impactful campaign. So if you have missed that, go over and find it's on my YouTube channel as well. It's called Facebook ads for Shopee 99 or something like that. So that's where you can actually do that. Now that's the second type of CPAS usage, okay, which is to actually very focus. I don't want people who view. I only want people who have actually added to cart. So very focused. You have to add to cart in order to qualify to see this ad, right? So yeah, you can give vouchers, you can give different things because you know that they have added to cart. That means they're freaking interested already, right? So pump them, just hit them in their face at the right time. So let's go for it, right? So that's added to cart. Now the next one is also very powerful. This is especially useful if you have a kind of like a comprehensive Shopee store that actually you sell different categories of products. Now you can actually do something like this. For upsell is usually to sell them something more expensive. So let's say if you know that somebody have bought an earring or necklace, all right, maybe once they have checked out and purchased, then you can actually run another ad. Or the other way around is you can actually, go more specific to run maybe like a, purchase with purchase promotion. It doesn't work that way. Now upsell is usually for something that you want to promote at a higher value, just to increase the customer lifetime value. You see, here's the thing. I've been advocating about increasing customer lifetime value for many months now. This is because essentially when you're running ads, the Facebook ads cost is going to come up, gradually, and certainly confirmed for sure they will always come up. Why? Because there'll be more and more Facebook advertisers coming into the party, and when that happens, the cost is going to come up because Facebook is essentially a bid and auction marketplace. The more competitors or more advertisers, the more expensive the ad will become. So once a person has bought from you for a very short period of time, especially even while they're waiting for your product and all that, it's very essential if you know how to actually try to sell something to them to increase the cart value. Or even you can go by, that this bunch of people have already bought something in the last 30 days and you can use another ad, to follow them for an X period of time to tell them to buy something else. So as he says, promote a specific, this is all products is when you select a product set, then it's a product set. So I want you to imagine when you're running the retargeting using CPAS, you will have multiple ad sets. You probably will have one that is generally for people who have viewed and added to cart. Now, and then you have one who is, very specific for people who have added to cart and, have not purchased. Now, this is really for those people who have bought a certain product and then you want to actually or add it to cart, or you want to actually let them see other products. In fact, this is not just people who have purchased. It actually is targeting people who have viewed or added products. So the imagination is this. If you know that somebody have added necklace to cart, then you probably want to have one ad set running this product ad set, a very specific, maybe you go by, that people have added earrings to the cart, then you probably want to go for necklace. So you have a necklace, go specifically targeting people who have viewed earrings or added to cart earrings. So that's where you actually do cross category kind of retargeting. You know that they're added to cart, they haven't purchased, and this is where you tell them that no, you can actually add this and buy. It's a very relevant ads if you know how to actually play this combination down. It's a very powerful thing. You just have to imagine what can be done. All right. And when it comes to cross-sell is where you can actually promote specific product to people who have purchased from specific product. So this is a different thing. This is, I mean, for the upsell is when you target people who have not purchased. They have ordered or already added to cart or view, but they have not purchased. Now this one is really to go for people who have purchased. So these are all powerful tools, if you know how to do it right. But then again, if you want to use these two sets, right, the upsell and cross-sell, this is when you can only do this when you have a stronger store. So if your store only have about 10 to 20 people visit then every day, then I don't think it's relevant to do that. You just need to focus on one or two things to start making it work first. Then only we go into other things. And needless to say, we have these custom combinations. This is even more, this is custom combinations. So I don't want to expand this. I don't want to confuse you, because this is essentially really like for you to kickstart. But if you have CPAS, if you click into custom combinations, you know that you can actually do different kind of combination. You can actually target people who have viewed product set A, okay, and product set B, kind of thing, to combine things together to show them product set B. You can target people who have viewed product set A and product set B to run ads for product set C. Crazy, right? I know, but that's a combination. Or even you can, under the custom combination, you can go in and target people who have purchased in the last 60 days. Exclude people who have purchased in the last 30 days. I hope you hear what I'm saying. This is a very powerful targeting, because those are the people who have bought on 31, who have bought from your store for more than 30 days, but less than 60 days. Now, this could be a very high quality audience because they bought from you and they probably have used up, especially if you're selling some fast moving consumer products. Now, this is a very beneficial ads you can run to remind them to buy again, right? So it's a very powerful thing. Trust me, CPAS, if you know how to use it right, you unleash crazy level of stuffs coming in. But yet again, in fact, in my Shopee course also, I don't give you I don't discuss a lot of strategy side, because to be frank, strategy is really a very fluid combination of things. I won't be able to teach you one set of strategy that applies to all the stores. So in fact, you just have to practice and play around with all these features and all that. And you need to identify a combination that works better for you and be very open to test new combination of strategies. If you just look at this screen itself, right, I can essentially churn out at least, maybe even 100 combination of strategies that we can do. If you really want to go optimum the whole damn thing, right, I can have at least 20 ad sets running simultaneously on this side. It's crazy. It's crazy. It pretty much depends on how comprehensive is your store. Then you can do a very different kind of like a combinations kind of thing coming together. Yeah. So this is when you use CPAS, you will essentially see this. I just gave you a very overview, but quite in depth already. Already you can actually apply some of the strategies on your CPAS store, and I guarantee that you can see crazy results coming in right away. All right. So this is a new thing. This is a gray out option only in certain CPAS accounts, not all. I actually went through and checked. Now, this is an extended audience targeting, which is you can actually promote your product set to people who viewed or added to cart in the same categories as your product. But this one, you need to work with partners. So how can we do this? I'm just thinking out loud. I haven't tried this before, to be frank. I don't have the case. Let's say, for example, if you are, I don't know, if you're a brand owner, okay? If you're a brand owner, and then you have multiple sellers out there, all right? You have multiple sellers out there who also have CPAS access. Now you can potentially, I'm just thinking a lot. I'm not sure whether this is the correct way. I'm just thinking a lot based on my understanding is, if let's say I have a major retailer A who is also selling, what I can do is I can actually run ads for you using my ad account to spend for you. That's one of a combination that I can see. But to be frank, I haven't tried this before. Any one of you have tried this? Because as we are making this video on 28th of September, okay, I haven't tried this thing. But if you have tried this and you have seen a different usage, right, you let me know. And if I've actually got the opportunity to try this and I have more information to share, I'll be doing more videos in the future to show you guys how. But this could be a very powerful thing. We're talking about cross ad account, cross CPAS account, cross Facebook page kind of advertising. Is a very powerful thing. But yeah, we just have to pay attention to this thing. Okay, now so far so good. In fact, I treat this as a recording. I won't be able to interact with you guys much because the content is compact, and I need to make sure that I finish this within an hour. Okay, so that's about the CPAS that we are having. Now, okay, now I want to cover a few angles. In fact, these are very important things that you need to know in terms of how to use CPAS effectively. Now, a few things. I think there are 5 things, as I can see over here. There are 5 things. Okay, the first one is one thing you have to really avoid doing is to avoid over retargeting. Now, this is a coin terminology. It's not a word. I coined this thing. What is over retargeting? Now, essentially, when it comes to retargeting, you have to understand the concept of retargeting. Retargeting means I want to follow your intent or interest on my product to make sure that within a period of time, while you are still interested, I appear as many times as possible to remind you about the intent or interest. I mean, when we want to take a step back and take a look here is when you want to when you want to buy something. Wait, what was that that I wanted to talk about is when you want to buy something, you always have a, if you want, let's say if you want to buy iPhone casing, the intention is always very short. So you probably will see an ad popping up in your Facebook account and a Facebook newsfeed and say that, oh, this is the latest casing for iPhone 13. It's a 13, right? I'm not sure. I lost count. Anyway, so wow, I like this casing. So I click on it at browse. So here's how it works. When everyone click on your product, they will be like, oh, suddenly I thought of something else to do. Or maybe I was browsing it halfway and my boss called. And of course, I will pick up the call first because it's the boss, right? So when I pick up the call, we discuss something else. I come back to the computer and look, and do something. And eventually I'll be like, okay, thanks, boss. It's done. Thank you so much. Then I put my phone back. I continue doing my thing. Oh, I forgot about that thing. I forgot about your phone casing that you're trying to sell to me. So your ad must come in within the next few days. Okay? So it has to come in within the next few days to remind me on this thing. It's a very important thing that you have to come in time because maybe I have the intention, but I'd forgotten about you. Then when I come back to Facebook, someone else came in with more casing and all that, and I'll be like, oh, I like this one too, not bad. So I click and, I just bought. But I forgot to actually like you first. So it's very important for you to actually control your retargeting. So what is over-retargeting? Over-retargeting is if you retarget for too long. Now, let's say, for example, if you're selling, like, for example, the iPhone casing, usually the purchase intent only lasts for 3 to 7 days. And if you do a 14 days retargeting, you're essentially wasting money. So these are very important key concepts when it comes to retargeting. You really need to understand what you're doing. So that's the first potential mistake that you have to avoid, which is over-retargeting. Do not retarget for too long. Do not retarget for, and do not wait for the next week to start retargeting. That's seriously, come to my class. You need that seriously to correct your mindset. That's a very important thing. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to make sure that you have to get it right. Now, the second thing that you have to do, really, I talk about this from the very beginning. Okay, you need to create product sets strategically. You need to make sure that you create product sets according to how you want to group them. Like I mentioned just now, if somebody sees a necklace, then you want to make sure that they see some other necklaces or any other things that you want to actually put it into a combination. So that's why when it comes to product sets combination, the possibility is endless. But you just have to think about this and look at this strategically. That's why you have to have a very deep understanding about your business, if you agree with me. If you don't, then I think it's very difficult for you to do all these things right. All right. So retargeting with product sets is very, very important. So as far as I know about using CPAS, there is no limitation in terms of how many combinations that you can create when it comes to product sets. Now, I even do a lot of things like every month, my coaches may do something like, every month we feature 10 products for sale. So every month we create a product set. You can create as many product sets and you can delete them anytime you want, as long as you're not using them. So play with the different combinations, get a hang of it. then you'll definitely be able to do a very interesting thing. Okay, so that's the product set. So retargeting with product sets is really, really important. You have to make sure that you do that. Now, the third one is, this is also a very important thing. This is overreaching. Overreaching is what? Overreaching is, let's say, for example, you did it right. You only retarget people who have browsed your iPhone casing in the last 7 days. All right? And essentially, one thing you have to realize, if you spend not very sizable amount, let's say if you spend let's say $50 a day trying to find new customers. All right. So let's say if you're spending $50 trying to find new customers, then let's say probably you'll be able to reach maybe about 5,000 people, and out of which maybe 500 would click and come over to your store. Now, maybe 500 of them, maybe only 300 are actually landed on your product. Now, one thing I want to tell you here is that your retargeting audience are usually smaller size. That's why I did mention just now there could be potential that your retargeting ads cannot run. That is because your audience size is too small. Now, when you have a very small audience size and you spend, let's say, for example, you spend 50 for your tier 1 and you spend another 50 for your tier 2, then these poor people who have visited your product and did not purchase will be seeing your ads like mad for that particular 7 days. They will start hating you. I mean, they may not start hating you, but you are definitely wasting the budget. So you don't need to reach them that many times. In fact, for your retargeting ad, our essential kind of like benchmark is we spend less than 20% on our tier 2 advertisement. So if you spend 50 on tier 1, you don't spend more than 10 over here and on tier 2 because you want to avoid overreaching. So that's the kind of framework that you want to start paying attention to. So if you have multiple tier 2, that's how you do it, the cross-category kind of thing. Okay, if you have multiple tier 2, then this is where you can actually even slice it thinner, maybe like 5, 5, 5 each kind of thing. So you want to avoid overreaching. Of course, you can actually monitor your frequency. Now, this is where I cover in the different courses to talk about how do you monitor the numbers and all this kind of thing. It's a different scenario over here. Okay, so that's the overreaching part that you have to avoid at all costs. Okay, now the third one here, fourth in fact, is seriously like already kind of illustrated to you. The upselling and cross-selling can be super powerful. You just imagine you can actually find those people who have interested or added to kind of view your necklaces. There are multiple necklaces, and then you retarget them with maybe, you know, like a necklaces as well, but you give them a voucher to tell them about, you know, all these things. Or even actually you can combine different set of products to come in to increase the likelihood of them buying. And the cross-selling is really for those who have purchased and you want them to buy more. There are many things you can play with. You can see that. It's a very, very interesting scenario that you can do when it comes to, you know, this upsell and cross-sell thing. I want you to start playing, like I mentioned just now. The combination of strategies is endless, if you ask me. There's so many things that you can come up with your mind and then just try and implement it and all these things. I just want you to be to have a very open mind and implement the whole thing. All right. But if you need to start right, like I mentioned just now, I have a course, you can actually go purchase and learn at least to kickstart in the right way. And of course, when you're familiar with that, when you master that, then you can do a lot more different combinations coming into place. Okay. Now, this is a very important thing. This is something that a lot of people are not doing. And I want you to start looking at it seriously right now. Why? Because seriously, using CPAS is not just about going out and target fresh audiences. It is not just about going out and retarget those who have indicated interest by either added to cart or browsing. It is also very powerful to retarget those who have purchased. You see, it is 7 times easier to sell to people who have bought from you. So you need to look at this group of people very seriously. This is also something that a lot of Shopee and Lazada sellers are not doing. The moment you're able to optimize this part, you can actually build a brand. You can. So you just imagine, right? If I bought from you, let's say if you're a diaper seller, right? If you have a set of advertisement running on targeting 60 days, you know, exclude 30 days purchase, and it's like a reminder thing, maybe not 60 days, right? Maybe 45 days, so that you run this for like about, you know, 15 days kind of thing. It's like a reminder thing to tell people when, as and when 30 days, I probably have, you know, finished the thing that I need to use and I need to restock. So when I see these kind of ads coming from you, you are in the prime position to become the top of mind selection for your audiences. So it's a damn powerful thing if you know how to do this right. So you see, like I always like to say, advertising costs on Shopee, Lazada, Facebook, and everything is going to come up. It's going to come up. So everything is going to be a lot more expensive moving forward at site. So we need to start looking at how can we increase the customer lifetime value, because you see, you have spent so much effort, time, money, energy, and all that to get a new customer to walk through your store to buy from you. Now, a lot of people are not paying attention is what are you trying to do to make them buy more? What are you trying to do to make them stay with you longer? It's about brand building. Marketplace sellers must start thinking about brand building. And yes, I would have to tell you that I'm a very heavy marketplace buyer. I buy a lot of things on all these places because, yeah, it's very easy. I actually do a lot of repeat buying from all these stores that I trust and I follow for a long time. So it's 100% possible to build a brand. You just have to pay attention on this part and start doing something about it. There must be some ways that you can do about this. Okay, so that's about using CPAS. So like I mentioned just now, the whole learning this free training today for an hour, I mean slightly less than an hour, but of course we have some questions over here. I'll go over them. Now, for this part of learning is really for you to have a very solid understanding about what CPAS is, what can it do, and the moment you have it, it's about start right. It's about start doing things right. So, a few angles you can look into if you want to learn. If you want to learn how to use CPAS, where I actually walk you through how to set up and everything, I have a course called the Facebook Ads for Shopee in my website. You can go to my website, tribeacademy.com. Under my courses, there is one. You can actually go there and learn, okay, and do all this thing. And basically, there's a very detailed walkthrough and steps and all that. You can actually start immediately, learn how to set up the ads. Now, if you need more help, a lot of people actually come to me. I'm very careful when I talk about this because I do not open for a lot of slots. In fact, at the moment, I'm limiting myself to take 5 coaches a month. And October, we are almost full. You can apply for, and even November, we already have people queuing up already. But nonetheless, if you need help, my help. If you need me to come in and walk you through, first, I will design the strategy for you, for your store. I will understand what is your business, what is your Shopee store if you are going on Shopee. And, based on the combination of stuff that you have, right, I will be actually drawing a strategy for you. So I'll be telling you that, look, we need to run this ad, we need to actually do this and all this kind of thing. For how many days, retargeting, how do we target those people who have purchased and all that. Now, and then I will implement with you, as in like, I will, through one-on-one coaching like this, you set up the ad under my guidance. So I will be looking here at Zoom, like you set up, and I'll be like, okay, no, this is not the right thing. So let's, okay, oh, why are you doing this? Oh, stuff like that, right? So this is not the right setting. I'll be walking you through like that to make sure that you learn, all right? And then also I will be giving you my way of tracking and analyzing metrics. I have a very unique way of tracking and analyzing metrics because for those who run ads on Facebook, you know that the moment you go into Facebook Ads Manager, it's a messy place. There are so many data, you do not know what to look at, and you do not know how to do comparison and all that. So I have a dashboard method that immediately elevate you to the bird eye view and able to really immediately at one glance, you're able to pinpoint, oh, this is the shit here. This is what is happening. Let's tweak here and all that. So it's a 3-week thing. So the Jumpstart program is a 3-week thing. Plus, after 3 weeks, you can come back within the first 3 months for an alignment call. So this is one-on-one with me. All right. So like I mentioned, I will design an ad strategy for you, for the Facebook ad strategy for your CPAS. All right. And I will walk you through, you set up under my guidance, and we will actually build the ads metric dashboard together for your campaign. So this is a 3 weeks thing, back to back, 1 week, another 1 hour per week, 1 session per week. It's about ish kind of thing. All right. So this is where we work together to really help you in a very quickly 3 weeks time to wrap your mind and learn how to do Facebook ads for your CPAS store using my method. And immediately with that, you actually learn. And most importantly, you get a recording, you can keep it for life. So as and when in the future, if you need to really like do this again and you forgot, watch back the training, because watch back the sessions, the recording, so you know what's happening right now. So like I mentioned, for October, I think we have 2 slots left. I mean, October, which is next month, we have 2 slots left. And for November, we have 4 slots left. Okay, so yeah, you need to sign up fast because some people actually waited and say that, oh, I will wait. Now, if you want to come in, then you have to go probably you have to wait and wait. But seriously, marketing can't wait, right? All these things. So you can't buy, you need to apply. Okay, so this is the link that you apply. So once you apply, you can schedule a quick call with me so that I understand your business and I'll be telling you whether I can help you or not. If we can't, then we make friend. If we can, then I will actually offer you to enroll in this one. So that's how we really start. Okay, so that's the Jumpstart program. And that pretty much wraps our training for today. I've got quite a number of questions over here. Let me quickly do my best to go over. Somebody say, is CPAS access for free? You need to apply, but it's free. And Mark is saying, every time you set up a campaign on the Lazada store and CPAS, why is it the potential reach always shows unavailable? Because it's set up for broad co-audience. Maybe you did a bit of exclusion or something like that, but usually the audience potential reach become unavailable when you touch the custom audience. That's how the case work. All right. And somebody is asking, would you recommend to run CPAS if the ad account just started with not much data? How is the CPAS going to help compare without CPAS currently having store in last mall? It's completely okay to start CPAS with a new account because you need to set up a new account, like I mentioned just now. If you can actually watch back at the very beginning, I did mention that you can start. It's completely fine. I can't compare whether you run it with CPAS or not with CPAS, but in my opinion, theoretically, with CPAS, it should get you a more accurate audiences and you're able to increase your ROI in a better way. So that's the CPAS. Okay. And somebody is asking, here's the limitation of the ad format selection and go with a carousel, but not selection. Depends on the back-end system sync to the product, then the product can choose for your run CPAS. CPAS theoretically has different combinations of so-called the formats. So there are certain things you can do, certain things you can't do. It's the same thing. I mean, for whatever in life, right? That's how it works. There are certain things you can do, certain things you can't do. I mean, we just have to play with the rules. Sometimes let's not be very obsessed with the format that we want. Let's focus on, we find out what format that converts better for us. I think that's that's the angle that I'll be looking at. And Mark is helping our friend here. Yes, correct. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. And yes, thank you for being a student. And Edmund is saying you just get CPAS approval, but you don't know where to start. I don't know. Maybe you want to go for the jumpstart with me. I don't know. Yeah, or you watch back if you are a student for the Shopee class, then you watch back that part. Okay. And yeah, okay. So Mark is saying to Tracy, if you're starting with CPAS, recommend feeding more data by spending more on ads. I actually agree with that. Yeah. Okay. And Mark is saying you didn't touch custom audience on co-audiences. Yeah, then probably you try to set it up again and see how it goes. Yeah, maybe it's a glitch. It could be a glitch. Facebook ads always have bugs. Okay. And somebody is asking how to exclude target to avoid retargeting. Avoid over-retargeting is you need to reduce the budget. It's not about exclusion. But then again, these are all the combination of things that you can or can't do. But start playing with it, okay? Remember, guys, I think I have to wrap this now because we have another one coming up at 10. But nonetheless, if you need help, then remember, you can actually go for this Jumpstart program. That's the link that you need to apply. You need to go to the link and apply. And we will go on a call and we will see whether we see a good fit, then we will work together. But nonetheless, like I mentioned, October slots, only 2 left. And for November, we still have 4. But yeah, do it quick, okay? Right, guys, I think that's it pretty much. Thank you so much. I like this, kind of free training, but this is the last that I'll be doing for a while. I mean, I've been doing this for 5-6 weeks already. I'm going to take a break for a few weeks, and we probably will come in with a new season or new interesting things to do and all that. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, all right, guys. I think that's it. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, questions, I'll come back on Sunday, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. to answer your questions. All right, with that, if you like this, share to your friends. I'm putting this up on YouTube. Talk soon. Thanks, guys.